Warning, the following video contains blood, jump scares, strobe lights, murderous gas station attendants, and the most terrifying thing of all, Shaquille O'Neal. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone! For the fourth consecutive year, Hersheypark is doing their Dark Nights event, and we are here for the fourth consecutive year. We've been here every single year they've done Dark Nights, and we're excited to be back. They always have a great event, and every year it seems to get better than the last time. This year there is a brand new haunted house, which unfortunately came at the expense of another one of their haunted houses, which we'll talk about in a little bit. There's also a brand new scare zone, which did not take away any of the scare zones. There are now 4 scare zones instead of 3. So we're excited to look at both of the new things. We'll also be going around taking a look at the food, also some daytime looks at the scare zones and the merchandise, including the Dark Nights Emporium, which I love that they have a store specifically themed to Dark Nights here. So there's a lot to look at in the day and in the night, so let's get going. Here's a look at the Hersheypark Halloween map showing where everything is. They have the Darkstone's Hollow Scare Zone, the all-new Path of Shadows Scare Zone here, the Haunted Coal Mine, Haunted House. They have the all-new Treatville Cabanas in Treatville, the Avenue of the Afterlife. They have the Estate of Evil Haunted House, the Fallout Zone Scare Zone, the Midway of Misery Scare Zone, the brand new Kill and Fill Garage, the Twisted CarnEvil Haunted House, and the Mortem's Abattoir over here. They also mentioned the Creatures of the Night at ZooAmerica on Fridays and Saturdays. And something else we'll look at a little bit later. Hersheypark has brought back their tasting pass this year, which allows you to choose 5 items out of over 20 different possible choices to eat for one low price, which is $37.95, you can see there. And some of the choices are shown here: the cheeseburger dip with tortilla chips, the pumpkin whoopie pie, and the brown sugar apple cider boba. And if you're interested in purchasing your tasting pass in advance, here is the QR code. Wanted to also mention though, if you do get your tasting pass in advance, you need to go to customer service to get them to scan the QR code you'll be sent on your phone, because they won't be able to use the QR code that's on your phone to directly have you get the food. You need your tasting pass lanyard. The new haunted house for 2025, the Kill and Fill Garage, has taken over the former location of the Descent haunted house. So to honor the Descent and its first year gone, they've put this, as soon as you enter the park, a photo op. The Descent, the final curtain call, you can walk behind this cage get your picture taken. Right as you enter the park, right beside the carousel, they've brought back the Spirits Rooftop Bar. Last year, we barely had any time to spend up here because it was so crowded. We're hoping to make some time to get there today to take a look at their menu, because they have a special menu for the event. Here's a look at some of the drinks and food that they have at Spirits, including the brand new cocktail that's themed to the new Kill and Fill Garage House. Okay, so we made it up to Spirits. Here's a quick look at their menu. First, their shareable appetizers, taquitos, some sliders, some onion rings, a cheesy tots, gas station sushi, some nachos, and the Wheel of Misery that has a bunch of different things on it. They also have a couple of desserts, a few mocktails, which doesn't specifically say what's in the mocktails. And here's a look at their cocktails: the Witch's Potion, Graveyard Sunrise, Transmission Fluid, which serves 2 and comes in like a little mini gas pump type looking container, the Fire Breather, the Toxic Waste, Spider Venom, Cup of Spirits, which is served warm, the Ink Master, the Sleeping Spell, a Margarita, Bloody Mary, and Spirits on the Rooftop. If you're sitting at the bar, they have TVs up high, and they will periodically on weekends show some horror movies here. They have a list of the horror movie schedule on the backside of the menu. They range from very R-rated to pretty family-friendly.
How do I know if it's...
Were these first?
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thanks a lot.
Laff is going to be on.
So that little show that we just got is for the Fire Breather drink. The Fire Breather, which came with that flaming sugar cube on top, is spiced rum, blackberry liqueur, lemon, and a charred orange wheel, as well as that fire cube that you saw go into the drink. Jen's drink of choice was the Ember Witch Margarita. Not nearly as fun of a show, but it's still a nice presentation with the glass. The Ember Witch Margarita is tequila, mezcal, lime, agave, pineapple soda, jalapeno ice. Also, the rim of the glass is covered in tahini, if you're wondering what that orangish brown color is on the rim. So the Fire Breather name for this basically just comes from the presentation and the charred orange that's in here. It's not the least bit spicy, so if you're looking for spice from the name Fire Breather, you're not going to get it here. It basically just tastes like blackberry. Blackberry comes through very strongly, even more strongly than the alcohol. I'm sure there's a lot of alcohol in here, but it doesn't really come through that well. The flavor is really good though if you like a sweet cocktail. So Jen was kind of expecting 3 different flavors in here from the ingredients that are in there: the lime, the pineapple, and the jalapeno from the jalapeno ice. Jen said it's a very spicy drink, so she definitely gets the jalapeno, and she also got the lime, but the pineapple isn't really coming through very well for her. So basically lime and spice is what you get with this. We're also trying the Chop Shop sliders, which are bison sliders. They come with white cheddar, raspberry, and also a habanero barbecue and pepperoncini on top. You can see the pepperoncini there. They also come with some steak fries, S-T-A-K-E, in quotation marks for fun. Jen pointed out these sliders are served on the head of a shovel. That's a really funny choice of dishware. So the burgers are cooked well done. They didn't ask what kind of doneness we wanted, so I kind of expected them to be well done. Since they're such small patties, they kind of have a really crispy, crunchy texture to them, which is actually kind of a good thing. The bun is really good. You can see there's clearly raspberry on there, which the menu said that there would be raspberry, but the raspberry flavor doesn't come through that strongly. So if you don't like raspberry, you could probably still enjoy these because it doesn't have a strong punch of berry flavor at all. Overall, I thought they were pretty good. And I've always been a fan of steak fries, so I definitely like these fries a lot. If you can even call steak fries fries, but either way, they were really good, but they're nothing special or unique. They're just regular steak fries. We don't often get 2 cocktails at a bar, but we saw the transmission fluid. We couldn't resist it. This actually serves 2 people, comes in this giant gas pump. They actually have a little gas handle which you would pour into these cups here. So the transmission fluid is actually some vodka, some blue curacao, cranberry juice, lime juice, and Starry soda. Jen's about to fill it up to show you how it works. So you fill your own cocktails with this. This is pretty cool. This year the bar has a bunch of candles floating up above. The decor is a little bit different every year, so this is what they're doing this year. You can use your tasting pass on some of the food items inside of the Hersheypark Supply Co. The places that serve food, they have apple fritters with vanilla ice cream, some caramel sliced apples, pumpkin chocolate chip blondie, and a marshmallow magic dirty soda, among others. Next to the locker station in Chocolate Town, they put up this fun little photo op spot. Got Reese's Kit Kat and the Dark Knights logo. Near the HP Toys and Collectibles building in Chocolate Town, a couple of Halloween themed things. They've changed their little Plinko board to a Halloween backdrop. And they also have meet and greets. This meet and greets here year round, but this time of year they have Halloween costumes on their characters. In several different places around the park. Since the last time we were here, Hersheypark has added these little green kiosks where you can purchase your souvenir cup through the kiosk instead of talking to an actual person. You would pay at this little thing and the machine will dispense the cup down there. Kind of an interesting choice. $24.36 for a cup. What a strange price. This bridge through the hollow last year featured a really cool acrobatic show, but this year there are no signs about the show, and also considering the queue for Twisted Gravity is just right on the other side of the bridge, I'm assuming they won't be doing that this year, which is a shame because it was a really cool show. Dispatch Pizzeria in the Hollow is another location where you can use your tasting pass. Some examples they have here are the Terror Tots, the Bee Sting Wings, the Pepper Jack Cheese Cubes, comes with a syringe of marinara, and a pumpkin whoopie pie, which really looks good. The cheese cubes and the whoopie pie are both new for this year. Jen just noticed a fun little subtle addition. These spooky cactuses and a Venus flytrap in the flower bed. And a couple other killer plants on the other side. Here's a look at the prices for the items at Dispatch, these special Halloween items. The Terror Tots are $10.99, the wings $11.99, Pepper Jack Cheese Cubes $9.99, and the whoopie pie is $7.49. From the Dispatch Pizzeria, we're trying the new Pepper Jack Cheese Cubes as well as the pumpkin whoopie pie. And the reason the lid is still closed on the container for the pumpkin whoopie pie is that the icing on top is going to come with it if I open it. So this is how it looks prior to losing half the icing. This is strangely fun to watch for some reason. So the cheese cubes, we highly recommend using the marinara. We're glad we put the marinara on there. The pepper jack is kind of a denser and grainier cheese, so the liquid marinara sauce really helps it go down. It's really tasty, and the flavor of the marinara works really well with the cubes. They are deep fried. I forgot to mention that sooner. The cubes are deep fried. So the fried flavor in addition to the sweet and semi-acidy flavor of the marinara work really well together. We really enjoyed the cubes. So the whoopie pie, the pumpkin comes through really strongly in the pie, the cake part itself. The icing in the center is cream cheese icing, which it works really well with the pumpkin. The flavor combination together, if you eat it all as one bite, is a really great flavor bomb of pumpkin. And the top, what I guess is supposed to be the stem of the pumpkin, is basically a giant Hershey kiss. So if you like Hershey's chocolate, you're going to enjoy that. If not, it's probably going to be too sweet for you. The Walking Taco food truck right outside of the pizzeria has a couple of special Dark Nights themed dishes. They have the Walking Dread Taco, which comes with green chili chicken and your choice of Walking Taco toppings. They also have the Walking Apple Pie, which includes vanilla cream sandwich cookies topped with apple pie filling and vanilla cream anglaise, which sounds really delicious. Guess I should have paid more attention to the Dark Nights map when I was looking at it earlier. The Hollow is no longer home to Darkstone's Hollow, despite the word Hollow being in the name. So we're gonna go take a look at where Darkstone's Hollow is now located. Right beside the Twizzlers Twisted Gravity, the Oola Bowl stand has a couple of current fall favorites. The Caramel Apple Bowl, which includes caramel, a word I'm not even gonna try to say, and apples. And also the Harvest Bowl, which includes Nutella, fall granola, bananas, apples, and cinnamon. At least I can pronounce everything in that bowl. The Creatures of the Night event at ZooAmerica happens every Friday and Saturday night during Dark Nights, starting at 6 p.m. This is actually the 45th anniversary of the event, and at the event for the 45th anniversary, they have special events such as a flashlight hide and seek and even a search for Bigfoot. Yes, you heard that right, Bigfoot is at ZooAmerica during the night. They have now moved the Darkstone's Hollow Scare Zone to the base of the Aqua Theater. You can see some of the cages that were found in years past at the Scare Zone over here. I'm not exactly sure how expansive this Scare Zone is now that it's moved, so let's take a walk through it and see what we can find, see how long it goes for. Oh, looks like it goes all the way down this way. This is the way that used to be the Creatures Uncaged haunted house. So they're repurposing the haunted house as a scare zone.
You're a roller coaster rider, aren't you?
They have brand new banners, which is really awesome. They kept the giant hornet things from the actual haunted house that was here. This tunnel back here is probably going to be one giant strobe light. So you can either go the way that I'm going now and avoid the tunnel, or you can walk straight through this tunnel if you don't mind strobe lights. So basically, if you want to get to this scare zone from the opposite direction, you would just come toward the Twisted Gravity queue that's just right here. So it's actually not as far from its original location as I thought it was. This is a great use of this space. I'm glad they moved this here. Early warning that when we go back through the scare zone at night, I will be taking the path that's through this tunnel. So if it does happen to have the strobe light that it had last year, I will put a warning up before it happens.
The Hersheypark website describes Darkstone's hollow as, after a brutal battle, Professor Darkstone stands victorious, his mythical menagerie broken and caged. The creatures are under Darkstone's command, for now, but you can feel the danger in the air. Stay hidden, or be hunted.
Dad, is that you? Dad!
Oh yes, he loves pictures. Get as many as possible.
Hold your neck up funny.
Where do you think you're going? No, why are you going to the hollow?
They have signs out now near each of the haunted houses advertising the Dark Nights Fast Track to skip the line. And if you're interested in purchasing yours in advance, here's a QR code for it. Though to be honest, we don't recommend purchasing them in advance because the weather might dampen your day. It's probably best to wait until you're actually at the park in person. However, the weather is expected to be okay today, and we did purchase this for ourselves. If you're doing this and the weather looks like it's going to be okay, we highly recommend getting the Dark Nights Fast Track to skip the lines for the houses. While most of the haunted houses are clustered kind of close together, the haunted coal mine is kind of on an island by itself near the entrance to the Trailblazer coaster. The queue goes around this building over here where in the summer months we saw the props being stored. One cool thing about the haunted coal mine being separated from the other houses, they actually theme the surrounding area outside of the house to more coal mine related stuff. And occasionally there will be scare actors walking around here. I don't recall seeing one last year, but might have just had some bad timing. There were definitely some the other prior years. I really like this moonshine building. Just to give you an idea of the Dark Nights crowds, only a half hour into the event on a Saturday, Haunted Coal Mine is already a 90-minute wait, and so is Twisted CarnEvil, 60 for A State of Evil, and Kill and Fill Garage, and Auntie Mortem's Abattoir is 30 minutes, so pretty crazy wait times for only a half hour deep into the event.
Hersheypark's description of the haunted coal mine is, head back down into the suffocating darkness of the mines where time slows down and the air runs thin. Step inside a new room that offers a breath of relief, but not for long. Down here, not everything that breathes is human.
Tommy knockers are knocking. The walls are collapsing. There's no way out. There's no way out of the mine. Stop going to the mine. There's no way out. There's no way out. We stay here.
The funnel cake by Shorty's, as you're passing by the entrance to the Hollow, they have their seasonal pumpkin funnel cakes that come back every year. The Spirello Shack over here has a few tasting pass items. They have the Witch's Hat Rice Krispie Treat, 4 different Spirello flavors: original, cheddar bacon, buffalo chicken dip, and garlic parmesan. And they also have a brown sugar apple cider boba. Lots of boba here. The Music Box Theater is currently airing a Shake, Rattle, and Glow Monster Ball, which is a family-friendly event, September 12th through November 2nd, with 4 show times on the weekends and 3 show times on Fridays. The entrance is flanked by a bunch of fun little jack-o'-lanterns, and directly across from the theater they have these also fun little rainbow-colored pumpkins. The cool colors on the right side and the warm colors on the left side. There's some new signage out for the Path of Shadows Coven's Curse, a brand new scare zone at the park. The Music Box Theater is right here. It's actually in what is usually an employee-only area behind the Music Box Theater. Unfortunately, they have it gated off in the daytime, so we can't get a daytime sneak peek of the scare zone, but this would be the path you would take to check that out. You can see one prop right here over the fence right now. They have another sign for the other entrance to Path of Shadows Coven's Curse, pointing you in this direction, entering behind the Music Box Theater from the other way.
The description for the all-new Path of Shadows Coven's Curse from the Hersheypark website is: long hidden from sight, the Path of Shadows has opened and 3 mysterious witches have emerged. Tread carefully through our all-new scare zone where something wicked is brewing, or run the risk of becoming the next victim of the Coven's Curse.
Basically right across from the entrance to Fahrenheit is the Dips of Decay, which has some tasting pass items, including the buffalo chicken dip with Cool Ranch Doritos, spinach and bacon dip with pita chips, brownie batter dip with pretzels for those of you with a sweet tooth, and cheeseburger dip with tortilla chips. These savory dips are all new items and they're all $9.99. So from the Dips of Decay, we got the cheeseburger dip with the tortilla chips. It's just a regular bite-sized bag of Tostitos for the chips, but the cheeseburger dip looks good. You can see a lot of beef in there. So we're not going to talk about the Tostitos because they're just Tostitos, but the dip itself was actually really good. The temperature of it was very hot, so it was very fresh, which we appreciated. Last time we had eaten here last year, the dip that we got ended up being kind of congealed because it was cool, but this was nice and warm. You can kind of, I hope this is coming out on the camera, but it's kind of steamy still even now. The actual flavor of it, I personally only got like a beef flavor and a cheese flavor. Jen said that she tasted some of the peppers that were in there. You can actually see that there are some peppers in there. I didn't really get that personally, but it did come across for her, so I guess it depends on your palate. Either way, even if you only get beef and cheese, I think that still tasted really good. I enjoyed the dip a lot. Burke's Hot Dogs in Pioneer Frontier near Fahrenheit has a few tasting pass items, including the Swamp Dog, the Buffalo Dog, the Peanut Butter Puppy Chow, Red Velvet Cookies and Scream Brownie, and Dragon Fruit Lemonade, now known as the Dogs of Doom. The side of the restaurant also showcases some of their cocktails, including the Toxic Apple, the Filler Up Margarita, and the Orange Shock. The Coaster Collectibles shop near Fahrenheit has become the Hersheypark BOOtique again. It's become the boutique every year since they started Dark Nights, I believe. They've completely switched up their stock to Halloween themed items, including this Return of the Living Dead shirt. The items in here are not Dark Nights themed, at least for the most part. They're not Dark Nights themed, but they are horror themed.
Guys, look. Guys,
Just a quick pan around the store. Even Twilight and Charmed made the cut. Look at this Morose tombstone. Big and a small size. A couple of Jaws shirts. Some goofy looking spiders. This is my favorite though, the 3 Jaws moon. They have other squishable items in here. Halloween. A Carrie shirt or 2. And then here, this is basically all the actual Dark Knight stuff they have in here. This is another really good shirt. I love you for your brains. For $29.99. They also have this fun little Reese's and Kit Kat and Hershey's mummy display and a Dark Nights photo album here as well. Most of the games around the park have switched up their prizes to Halloween prizes. Here's just one example. The Muffin Tin has these little bats and jack-o'-lanterns and Frankensteins and ghosts against the wall there. It's kind of a shame. Bob and his fish got an infestation of spiders, so they had to move out of their area. Right beneath Fahrenheit, Hershey has turned their milk can game into toxic cans. They covered all their milk cans in radioactive barrels. This tiny little tent right here, when Dark Nights officially starts for the night, will become the Estate of Evil bar, where you can pick up a few different cocktails. They have a sign here that lists all of the drinks. For $15.99 a piece, they have 3 different ones, including the Filler Up Margarita. They also have Sun Cruiser tea and a few different beers. And it makes a lot of sense that the entrance to the Estate of Evil is immediately past the Estate of Evil bar, just right next to the Tidal Force changing rooms over here.
About Estate of Evil, the Hersheypark website says, the 13 rooms in this mansion offer charm, mystery, and a new sauna that is sure to make you sweat. Just be warned, the last guests who overstayed their welcome are still feeling the heat.
that was. Pride killed me. I am the hunter. Oh, I know. Okay, this is nice.
How you doing?
I'm good, I'm great. Just dandy. That's giving. That is crazy.
That was crazy.
That is actually crazy. I would not be able to say that so. I don't like this one. I know.
Into the sauna! You'll be exfoliated to the bone!
The reason the milk can game was changed to toxic cans is because right past that is the entrance to another classic scare zone, the Fallout Zone, which is typically my favorite scare zone at the park. Let's take a daytime look at the Fallout Zone. As long as there isn't too much radioactivity in the area. So this is one that looks way, way better at night than in the day. It's a little bit underwhelming in the daytime, but when there's some scare actors in here and they have all the lights going, this is gonna be really awesome. And of course, Tidal Force is drained for the season. Nice little lighthouse here for Tidal Force. Has a bunch of radioactive barrels in front of it. They've also changed their Frog Bog game, I think it was called Frog Bog, into HazRats. Same basic style of game, except they've turned the frogs into rats. You're still throwing them onto lily pads for some reason. I don't know what rats and lily pads have to do with one another, but they have 5 rats for $3, a bucket of rats, which is 15 rats for $6, or you can get the bucket of rats plus a special prize for $4 more. All the rats clustered in the center. I really like this contaminant storage over here where a scare actor can hide. They've added more radioactive barrels to the area. There definitely weren't this many in years past. And then it ends at the Dark Knight's Emporium, which we'll look at shortly.
That looks fun. You can do that one for sure.
I don't want to go down.
Oh, yeah.
They have fun little barriers here on the other side. Some toxic barrels washed up all along Tidal Force. No wonder they drained it. Because it's near the Fallout Zone scare zone, they've turned the burger place over near the Emporium into a Reactor Rations. You can use your tasting pass here on some hot horseradish wings, Fallout fries, Nashville hot chicken and waffle, Flamin' Hot Cheetos mac and cheese ball, and a blueberry boba iced tea. So everything on this menu, with the exception of the blueberry boba iced tea, is new for this year. So we got two things from Reactor Rations. We got the chicken and waffles, and we also got the Flamin' Hot Cheeto mac and cheese bites. It's actually Nashville hot chicken and waffles, I should emphasize. Trying to figure out what's on top of it, not quite sure, but it'll be interesting to try. So the chicken and waffles, the chicken was fresh from the fryer, so it was not only Nashville hot, it was actually temperature hot too. It burned our mouths in two different ways. The topping on here was a smoked tomato ranch, which is the sauce on there, and this is a jardiniere. Some of you probably already knew that before I even told you that. They both work to help cool down the Nashville hot sauce, which was very necessary because it is a very, very spicy piece of chicken. The waffle, I think, is a liege waffle, I think that's how you say it. It had a lot of sweetness, and even without syrup, it actually worked really well with the chicken. So we enjoyed it. We thought it was pretty good. It was just, we needed to wait a minute before we bit into it because it was so hot. Okay, slight correction. Jen said that the waffle is advertised as a Belgian waffle. It didn't taste like a Belgian waffle to me, but it does kind of look like it, so I'll take their word for it. So the mac and cheese bites come with a dipping sauce, which we think is more of that smoky tomato ranch that they had on the Nashville hot chicken. We made a mistake by eating the Nashville hot chicken first because this is a Flamin' Hot Cheeto crust on this, so it should be pretty hot, but because we had the Nashville hot chicken first, it didn't really taste like anything on the crust of it. But the mac and cheese inside was really creamy, really well cooked. It had a lot of cheese flavor. So the macaroni itself is good, just the Flaming Hot Cheeto crust didn't really taste like anything, but that's most likely our fault because of us eating the Nashville hot chicken first. The Dispatch Pizza near the Fallout Zone in the boardwalk has also been changed for the scare zone into Toxic Crust.
On the Hersheypark website, the Fallout Zone is described as: the green fog is back and radiation is spreading. Chaos is rising and the real threat isn't the fallout, it's the aftermath.
All right, let's take a look at the Dark Knight's Emporium. We're daring to come in. It always looks like this spooky house. Sometimes they have some cool stuff inside, some cool statues and things to look at. So let's see if that's still true. The second room is closed off this year. It's the first thing I noticed. That's like alternating years. They'll have it open and then next year they'll have it closed and then open and closed. But they still have a lot of good new merchandise, some Kill and Fill garage shirts for the new house. Some Dark Knights houses. These mugs are new. It has the Kill and Fill house on the mug. Those mugs are $16.99. They also have a similar Dark Knights cup. Actually, this one, the Dark Knights logo is right in the middle there. Bunch of Kill and Fill garage merchandise. This giant cup, you can see the hand for size. It's a very large cup. They have a candle that smells like it. They have bumper stickers and a patch, I believe. I think that's a patch. Oh, it's a sticker, and it has a QR code on the back of it. Here is this year's Dark Knights long sleeve shirt with all of the houses on it. They also have Dark Knights on the sleeve. That shirt is $34.99. For $16.99 you can get the Nobu necklace. The necklace is the same design as last year, but it is a great design. This Reese's cup smiling with his bat wings. Bunch of Dark Knight sweatshirts and spirit jerseys. I have this red one. This one with the big skull on it. This purple spirit jersey with the fluorescent, I guess, Dark Knights logo. This Dark Knight spirit jersey with the skeletal hands rocking out. This hoodie and this bloody looking shirt. And then this bright bubbly sweatshirt, which is kind of out of character for Dark Knights. I have some general Dark Knights merchandise, these beanies and baseball caps and drawstring backpacks. The beanies in particular, because the price tag just sitting out, is $28.99. They have this Dark Knights design in t-shirt form, hoodie form, child-sized hoodie, and child-sized t-shirt. The child-sized shirt is $24.99. The adult-sized shirt is $27.99. Surprisingly, they have a bunch of Shaq-A-Licious Laff Track merchandise. They have this shirt. They have a purple tie-dye hoodie. That purple tie-dye hoodie is $64.99. They also have a tank top. And they also have this blue hoodie. Plus, if you're a real big fan, they have logo socks and Shaq-A-Licious stickers. A couple of Dark Knight's magnet designs. More Dark Knight shirts with the houses on them, including the new Kill and Fill. This hoodie, t-shirt. They also have, I think this is the front side of that same hoodie. Here's a jack-o'-lantern t-shirt, a long sleeve shirt, another hoodie. This room is very tiny and cramped, so it's kind of hard to get over to everything, but there's a few more shirts over there. And some other Dark Knight stickers, a non-Dark Knights, but Halloween all year long shirt. Some glassware. On this side where Jen's standing, they have a bunch of candles. Candle scents, the same candle scents I believe that they had last year. They have this fun little cartoony Hershey candy decoration. Ghoulishly good. But other than that, they really don't have the kind of decorations that they had previously. They do have this Kill and Fill garage backdrop, which is really cool looking, but otherwise, really the only decorations they have are a bunch of skeletons in various places. This one just happens to be sitting on the edge of a drink cooler. So they've reduced the elaborate decorations in here, unfortunately. Sure. The Dark Knight's Emporium is directly in between two scare zones. The first one was the Fallout Zone. The second one is the Midway of Misery. These two scare zones are basically right next to each other, with the exception of the Emporium splitting them up. This is a really cool facade for this scare zone, but I have to say, in the daytime, there really isn't much to this scare zone other than that archway and a couple of other things. So I'm not going to do a straight up walkthrough of this scare zone because it's kind of boring in the daytime. I'll just take a look at the decorations that they have in here.
Hey guys.
These are the kind of things that you'll find in this scare zone. Big posters like this, two-sided posters. Each side has a different picture on it. The entrance to the new Kill and Fill garage house is right past the entrance to Wildcat's Revenge. This is replacing the Descent haunted house, which was always our least favorite house here, so I'm actually kind of glad they replaced it with this new house. From the Wildcat's Revenge fast track lane, you can get a great look of how it looks as you're exiting the Kill and Fill garage. The facade at the exit is completely unrecognizable from how it was when it was the Descent. They really added a lot. It was super plain and kind of boring as you were exiting the Descent. Now there's a lot to look at. That was really awesome, including the actual sign for the house down there. Nice job, Hershey.
Regarding the Kill and Fill garage, the Hersheypark website says, fueled by evil, killers have taken over the abandoned Kill and Fill garage, and what goes on behind the rusted chain link fence is sure to send sparks flying. But beware, the screams start when the engines die.
No oil change?
No. Here's another sign you would find in the scare zone.
I nearly lost my mind, I'm never ever going back. There was Frankenstein cracking
For the season, the Laff Trakk coaster has become the Shaq-A-Licious Laff Trakk, sponsored by the Shaq-A-Licious Coven. They've overlaid pretty much everything about the coaster with the Shaq-A-Licious logo, the main coaster sign, the back wall of the queue entrance is completely Shaq-A-Licious themed, and even the videos that they show on the TVs have Shaq in them, big Shaq-A-Licious ads. They also added a Shaq-A-Licious Laff Trakk logo to each of the cars on the ride. There's a big Shaq-A-Licious arrow on the outside of the outdoor portion of the queue that shows you the doorway to get to the indoor portion of the queue. The Funhouse mirror room is now darker and full of Shaq-A-Licious logo Funhouse mirrors too. Another big Shaq-A-Licious arrow. This is crazy how different this room looks with just a little bit of different lighting. And then in the actual station, they've added a few Shaq-A-Licious banners. One there, one against the far wall, and then one basically right as soon as you enter the room. I know this is a terrible angle of it, but can't get any farther away from it. A couple of other banners on the wall. But the main event is, as you're boarding the train, they've changed the entire backdrop of the station to a big Shaq-A-Licious Laff Trakk sign. And as you can see, color changing lights. And Shaq saying, "Here we go," over the speaker. And then a "Thank you for riding" sign as your exit. In the vicinity of the Laff Trakk coaster near the skee-ball games, the Plinko game that they have over here has become the Shaq-A-Licious Laff Trakk Plinko for the season as well. The directional signs around the park have also been updated to reflect the Shaq-A-Licious Laff Trakk logo as well. We didn't want to record the ride itself, we didn't want to get in trouble, but basically the changes to the ride itself are the Laff and Sal mouth that you go through as you're going up the lift hill has been changed to a big Shaq head, which is even more creepy than that giant Laff and Sal. And there's a change to the music and lighting package on there, as well as Shaq constantly talking basically the whole time you're riding, saying the same thing over and over and over again. At nighttime, they even had a projection of Shaq's spinning head on the side of the Laff Trakk building. If that's not creepy, I don't know what is. Right past the exit to Laff Trakk is the Twisted CarnEvil haunted house. The queue right here, the Laff Trakk building's right there to give you an idea. And then right past that is the Auntie Mortem's Abattoir house. So even though the house is right here, the queue is a little bit farther down.
Regarding Twisted CarnEvil, the Hersheypark website says, "Step right up. The big top is abuzz with new acts, but watch your back. One of the new performers leaves more than a mark. They leave a permanent impression."
Cry when we hit the bone!
here that used to be the basketball game now is a big ad for the Decayed Brigade, as well as another photo op backdrop here. They give you the times for the Decayed Brigade here and also mention that there's a meet and greet after the showcase. They have a sign for the Decayed Brigade Bar, which is this little tent right here once Dark Night starts. They have a couple of beers, a couple of cocktails, some water. Not a huge menu, but still, if you're into these kind of drinks, here's a place to come. They have this fun little fortune teller that was here last year. You can actually spin this wheel for real. Doesn't spin very well, but you can spin it. And then right past that, there is another one of the signs that they have in here for the Decayed Brigade. The other side of it. And then right past that sign is the actual entrance to Auntie Mortem's Abattoir over here in this queue.
The Hersheypark website describes Auntie Mortem's Abattoir as Auntie Mortem's Abattoir just added a packing room to the tour. Her nephew is stepping up his game and his twisted cousin is on hand to keep the family business running no matter what or who comes through the door.
Oh man, there's gonna be some good eating here. Oh yeah. No, it smells like trash.
It would smell like
And then right as you get to the Ferris wheel, you reach the end of the Midway of Misery. They have some more statues over here. I'm pretty sure this wasn't how the end of the Midway of Misery was last year, but they've changed it and have other statues here now.
The Hersheypark website's description of the Midway of Misery is, "The Decayed Brigade is back beyond the Midway Arch, and this year they're faster, fiercer, and sliding with a vengeance. They've claimed the Midway of Misery as their own, and every spark, scrape, and scream marks their grim return."
as they've been doing every year of Dark Nights, they do the Dark Ride experience when Dark Night starts on select coasters, including the Wildcat's Revenge, Comet, and a few others. Dippin' Dots around the park currently have a limited time Spookies and Cream flavor, which I'm assuming is basically just regular cookies and cream, just dyed orange. Because the boardwalk is closed this time of year, they've turned the area into the Avenue of the Afterlife. And also in the mornings before the Dark Nights actually starts, they have Treatville where kids can go along a trail and trick or treat through there. The East Coast Mini Donuts pink truck over here has a couple of special non-alcoholic drinks, including boba. Well, 3 of them include boba: the Vampire's Kiss, the Witch's Brew, and the Hades Fire. And then they also have some Blood Moon tea and some Ghostly Lagoon. The Avenue of the Afterlife includes multiple restaurants where you can use your tasting pass, including the Funnel Cake by Shorty's, the Afterlife Delights, and the Butcher Shop. Moonlight Libations is a little tiny food truck of sorts in the Avenue of the Afterlife. They have a couple of special items here. First, you can get a souvenir skull mug for your drinks. Here's a look at the mug as well as the regular cups if you choose to get a regular Hersheypark Halloween cup. They also have one tasting pass item, the pizza bombs, stuffed with pizza sauce, mozzarella cheese, and pepperoni. And they have a few Hersheypark Halloween cocktails: Toxic Apple, Orange Shock, Filler Up Margarita, and you can add boba pops for $5. The Afterlife Delights cart has a few items you can use your tasting pass on. They include some conchas, some churro bites with spiced chocolate sauce, a cherry cheesecake jar, and a red velvet cold brew. None of these are very expensive. This is a pretty cheap place to come. From Afterlife Delights, we got the cherry cheesecake jar, generous helping of cherries on top. It's actually a decent amount of cheesecake in the cup. I really like the skull on top of it, though I'm not entirely sure what the skull is made out of. It'll be interesting to find out. So the cheesecake was pretty standard. If you like cheesecake, you'll probably like this. If you don't like cheesecake, you probably won't like it. There's nothing really unique or original about it. As I was eating it, I was thinking it's weird to eat just the cheesecake part with no crust, but as I got down low into it, I did find the crust. That is mildly interesting. It's a chocolate crust, which usually for cheesecakes you would see a graham cracker crust. So seeing a chocolate crust is a little bit different, but nothing mind-blowing. And by the way, I tried to cut the skull in half and only eat part of it. I couldn't do it because the skull is basically a giant gummy, and the cheesecake masked the flavor of it so much I couldn't even tell you what the flavor of the gummy was. It was basically just a gummy textured thing for all intents and purposes. The La Carniceria Butcher Shop has a few tasting pass items, including the pulled pork slider, the kielbasa bowl, Lucifer mozzarella sticks, and a blood splatter cupcake. So from the butcher shop, Jen got the pulled pork slider. It's literally just one slider, no accoutrements, no second slider. That's it, just this one little burger. Yeah. But there is some slaw on top, so at least that's something. So Jen said that the meat on the pulled pork slider is really tender, and the barbecue sauce is kind of a sweet, smoky barbecue sauce. So if that's your preference, you'll probably enjoy it a lot. However, she commented that there wasn't really enough slaw on there for it to really make a difference in the flavor profile of the sandwich. So if you like slaw, you might be a little bit disappointed with this sandwich. Shorty's Funnel Cakes is another little food truck type stand here. They have a couple of tasting pass items. The tasting pass items here include the deep fried eyeballs and the peanut butter explosions, which are 2 fried Nutter Butters, peanut butter, marshmallow, and chocolate drizzle. There's a nice little Avenue of the Afterlife sign overlooking the Lightning Racer coaster. Dark Nights had everything: fog, a shack, Bigfoot, drinkable transmission fluid, a cheeseburger turned into dip, witch bugs, and scooters. What are scooters? No, not those old-fashioned vehicle things. It's these ninja skeletons that scoot around on their knees. Some people like to call them sliders, but they don't look like hamburgers to me, so I call them scooters. So that was our day at Dark Nights. Both the scare zones and the houses continue to improve. They added new things to some of the houses. For example, they added that whole sauna scene to A State of Evil, which we really enjoyed. The new Kill and Fill garage was really fun. You wouldn't even recognize that as the same building that was the Descent. The scare zones were really awesome, even though the new one is very short, just back behind the Music Box Theater. These scare actors were really into their jobs. They scared me a couple of times, and I know they scared Jen. So I really like the concept of the witch area. I just wish we would have been able to see them do something with the cauldron they had over there. But otherwise, it was a really fun scare zone. The other ones were really good too, with the exception of the Midway of Misery, but that's kind of not the scare actors' fault. Everybody gathers over in that area because 4 out of the 5 houses are close by. So there really isn't enough room to scare anybody over there. I kind of wish they would move that scare zone somewhere else like they did with Darkstone's Hollow. So if they can move that one, they should be able to move the Midway of Misery. I guess we'll see what happens in the future. Or they could move 1 or 2 of the houses. That would help too, but I don't see that happening just because of space limitations. But either way, we enjoyed everything, had a really good time. The food was really good. Year after year, the event continues to improve. We hope you can make it out if you've never been before. If you enjoyed checking out the video, we'd appreciate it if you'd give it a thumbs up. Also, ring the bell that I always forget to mention and subscribe to the channel. Every like and subscribe and also bell notification is a big help to the channel. Also, please be sure to check out our Instagram page appearing over Jen's head right now. Right below that is our Threads handle. And then right beneath Jen is our email address. Please be sure to email us any questions, comments, concerns, constructive criticism. We read all of them and we appreciate any feedback that you give. So thanks a lot for watching.
Thanks for watching, but the fun's not over yet. Click the box in front of my face for another fun video, or click my tree to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss another video.